Well, hello my lovelies, it's Murky Meg here. It's Monday the 10th of October, and sorry I've had a little time off. I took a week off just to recuperate. I did a lot of videos over the last month, so I just thought a little bit of time out was needed. I also had a bit of an ear infection that I needed to get rid of, so I'm back, and hello, welcome. Today's video I'm going to be discussing cause and effect on their attitude towards royal family, their actions towards royal family, and also what that means with regards to Hollywood as well. Now, we all know that when Harry and Meghan left the royal family, the big Mexit announcement, the Sandringham summit, they wanted or presented to the royal family a half in and a half out situation. It's now been confirmed that the Queen, in Valentine Lowe's book, said absolutely not. There is no way that that will happen. You cannot have your cake and eat it. You're either in or you're out. They chose to be out, and a lot of people expected, me not personally, to have Hollywood absolutely fawn over them. And I truly believe that Harry and Meghan thought that they had the wow factor to just simply be able to rock up to any event and have the red carpet treatment, to have people fall at their feet, deals fall at their feet. And while they did secure two major brand deals with Netflix and Spotify, these would have come with caveats, and that you have to, I've said this so many times, sing for your supper. That kind of cash is not normally bounded around unless someone has something to say or a story to sell. Now, Harry and Meghan had the biggest story of all to sell, their time in the royal family. But now the tide has turned, and it seems that when the deals were made, they were more than happy to dish the dirt, because it's been widely reported that they're trying to do a massive U-turn on both Harry's book, the Spotify deal, and Netflix, that they're trying to take out any majorly critical thing of the royal family. But do you really think Netflix won't play hardball? They want a bang for their buck. Now, I would have half expected Harry and Meghan to think when they arrived on the shores of America and California, the whole of Hollywood would have opened up their doors and welcomed them in. The exiled royals with that little bit of glamour. I say that in the most ironic of ways. Did Harry and Meghan want to be a Hollywood power couple? It takes a lot to be a Hollywood power couple. You can't just use your titles and you've got one. And is Hollywood waking up to the fact that these two aren't all what they seem? According to The Spectator, they quote that every streaming service deal has invited quiet sniggers. Every ill-judged interview and profile-raising event now brings in the mixture of pity and irritation. These corporations are learning that they are getting little bang for their buck. Over the last few months, there have been whispers of Spotify growing more frustrated with the Duchess after the $25 million deal went public in December of 2020 only yielded just one 33-minute Christmas episode. Well, obviously, we now have archetypes, which is a whole other ballgame, and she's taking swipes left, right and centre at every single stereotype, not archetype. You know, if she ever listens to this channel... I doubt she does, but if she does, hi. Don't take a swipe at Quentin Tarantino, one of the most legendary directors and writers of all time, because that's not going to wash. It's not going to open Hollywood doors for you. If you're going to go and have a go at somebody, please don't make it one of the best filmmakers of all time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, she took a swipe at Quentin Tarantino and the stereotyping of Asian women in The Dragon Lady. I think she forgets that this is 20 years old, this film. Kill Bill I'm referring to, and it was Lucy Liu's character that she's referring to, the Dragon Lady. And in Kill Bill, she was the boss of all bosses. She was an absolute badass. She was the queen of the Yakuza. I mean, that's iconic. It's not stereotypical at all, because wouldn't the head of the Yakuza normally be male? She's got it all wrong. Anyway, I digress. There have been several high-profile Hollywood events that they have not been invited to. They haven't got invited to the Oscars. They weren't invited to the big Beckham wedding, one of their sons got married. I don't really follow that kind of nonsense, but apparently one of them married a billionaire. They didn't get invited to that, although Meghan is supposed to be friends with Victoria Beckham, but I can't remember whether she's friends or not with her. It does keep changing from time to time, because we all know she eventually falls out with everybody. Meghan, that is, not Victoria Beckham. They weren't invited to Barack Obama's 60th birthday because it is widely suggested that the Obamas really didn't like the swipes that Harry and Meghan did towards the royal family on her Oprah interview. Their Oprah interview. I keep saying hers, but it really was there, wasn't it? I mean, she was there predominantly of the time, but, you know, he was tapped on at the end for 15 minutes, so technically it was theirs. And a lot of high rollers attended the 60th birthday. People like Tom Hanks, Beyonce, Jay-Z, the Clooneys, but no Harry and Meghan. It's funny that, isn't it? So, one LA source told The Spectator that the main reason for them being excluded is the organisers know that all media attention would be on them and take away from the event or the people there to celebrate. They also claimed that one A-lister known for lavish parties left the pair off the guest list because of their capacity to share, adding that celebs never know where details of their private lives might end up. There you have it, folks. Mr. and Mrs. Privacy don't seem so private with other people's information. We know that, don't we? Apparently, one guest at Harry and Meghan's wedding told the reporter that nobody there knew each other. It was a show. Part of me thinks she Googled who would make her look popular and shipped them over for the day. Part of her plan all along was to leave the royal family. It is evidently clear, and it's made evidently clear in Valentine Lowe's book, that the staff all knew that she wouldn't stick around, that this was part of her plan. She wanted to build her brand and set off into the big wide world and be welcomed by Hollywood, but it hasn't happened. Hollywood is a very fickle place. If you've got it, you've got it. If you haven't, you haven't. And if you've got it, you've got to really work damn hard to keep it. And 2 ex-royals does not make a guaranteed success of Hollywood and being accepted into the Hollywood circles and Hollywood elite. And apparently, according to The Spectator, there's a sense in Hollywood, and it's starting to see through Meghan's truth, and the fact that we British have been labelled as racist when in fact that's not the case at all. We just called out her bad behaviour, and his, of course, by default. You can't just take an exiled prince and make him a star. It doesn't work like that. And it seems that Harry and Meghan have built their brand on whining about the royal family, and people are getting well and truly fed up with it. Hence why they're backtracking with Netflix and Harry's book deal. But that's not going to work. The publishers and Netflix will want results for their money. I think something has shifted since the Queen's death. Harry has realised the public outpouring of love for her and, by proxy, her family. And they know that any veiled attempt or attack on the monarchy will look extremely bad, which is why they're backtracking. Now, I did a video last week or so that basically said they are backtracking, and the media have cottoned on to this same thing. They are backtracking because they are scared of what the fallout might be. Unfortunately, when you lie down with dogs, you get fleas. And any pet owner knows, fleas are notoriously hard to get rid of. Now, Paris Hilton spoke to The Spectator. Not a huge fan of his. He says it how he is, and he often fence sits and flip-flops. But this is an interesting thing that he said. He told Spectator that he never believed the Sussexes stepped aside because they wanted more privacy. It was more of a desire to call their own shots. But nobody seems to have told them what they wanted. To be the Clooneys or the Obamas was not something that could merely be bought. Hilton continued that they had a need to exploit Harry's family for financial gain. They needed money. They wanted to live a super lifestyle with a multi-million-dollar mega mansion in one of the most expensive neighbourhoods in the United States. They live a very expensive life, and entertainment is where the money is. Hilton continues that they're not our royals. We don't have any alliance to them. We don't have any relevance for them. We will not curtsy in front of them. To us, they are just celebrities. See, that's it, isn't it? They've tried to mix monarchy and celebrity, and it just doesn't work. It never has worked. And it seems that they're not really welcome in Hollywood. Nobody is really falling at their feet. Where are the big events? Where have they been invited to? And it was plainly obvious during the mourning period of after the Queen's death that they were also on the fringes with the royal family. Well, we know this. They can't be trusted. So they can't be trusted in Hollywood and they can't be trusted as a royal life. Where does that leave them? In a very isolated, lonely place, I would imagine. It all rests on this Netflix docuseries, and I use that word in the very loosest of tense. It's a reality programme, to be perfectly honest. It's a fly on the wall. And the book that's supposedly being changed or added to, word on the street, he's adding a chapter about the Queen's death. If it's true, shame on you, Harry. Everything now resides on those two pivotal points and what will happen afterwards, whether they are held up as glorious or whether they are shunned even more. But it seems at the moment Hollywood has lost its sparkle for the Harkles. So I would love to know your thoughts on this. Why aren't they getting invites to the big main events? Do you think it's just COVID? That's the reason? Did COVID scupper their plans to take America by storm and release their star power? Okay, yeah, I know, irony and all that. Or do you think that it was inevitable that you cannot mix royalty with celebrity and trash your family in the UK and expect all of Hollywood to fall at your feet? As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.